Where should we go next?
All right, let's go to USC. I saw a lot of buzz about the USC spring game, rightfully so. People in LA, 30+ thousand, which I think was a record since the 90s, showed up at the spring game to see Caleb Williams and Mario Williams and Lincoln Riley and what the offense looks like, all the transfers on both sides of the ball. You know, the pass rush was apparently unexpectedly strong is how I would gauge it. Now, USC's offensive line is pretty thin, and it's hard to really gauge offensive line play when sometimes guys are split up, and so you're playing against a bunch of twos or guys that are mix and match. But especially the start, and I don't know if it was scripted, I don't know if it was very specific, and the defense was vanilla at the time. Whatever it was, Caleb Williams to Mario Williams looked strong and crisp. And there's a lot to be excited about if you're a USC fan or just a college football fan that, a Lincoln Riley offense will continue to exist in the sport. Caleb Williams was, I think, his first 8 or 9 throws as advertised. He was sharp, went downfield. His second half, I think, was not amazing, but I think he only threw 3 or 4 times, and we kind of had a dud of a second half, but there are always going to be circumstances around that. Miller Moss, who was a heralded recruit at quarterback and has been there for a little while, he looked strong with a couple of mistakes as well, threw a nice deep ball to Kyle Ford, a former 5-star receiver. USC is in a decent place. The thing I'd be concerned about is year one expectations because of all of the electricity surrounding
that was
going to
be my question for you.
Yeah.
My question was going to be, I think what we know, to keep it the theme here, I think we know a lot about what's in focus. We know a lot about Caleb Williams, about the transfer portal and what Lincoln Riley has done in that regard. Recruiting has been strong. There's a lot of excitement with the program.
Sure.
And I think they will be better. I have no doubts that they will be better very quickly.
Yeah.
What remains out of focus and a little bit blurry is, to what extent is this team superficial? Maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it, but depth is something that I know you've questioned.
And they don't have numbers. That the bodies, the scholarship bodies, that's why they're hitting the portal so hard, that this is between the injuries and just holes on the roster. It's still a thin team.
Yeah. I'm real curious to see how he addresses that. If he continues to be aggressive in the portal, I expect that he will.
Oh, yeah.
He certainly is the type of coach. Look, his reputation precedes him, and players want to play for him. He's got a reputation for putting talent, especially offensive talent, in the NFL. I would expect that they're going to be better there, if only because they've got Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
But, we'll have to wait and see how that actually plays out once the live bullets start flying.
Yeah, I mean, look, Caleb Williams has Mario Williams, who should be one of the best receivers in the Pac-12 and is an enticing talent, obviously, with what he did early on in his Oklahoma career. They have Travis Dye, the Oregon transfer, who will solidify that backfield. They've a couple other transfers at receiver, Brendan Rice, Terrell Bynum, guys from elsewhere in the Pac-12. It's going to be a matter of, what does this defense do that they weren't doing the past couple of years? Are they sounder tacklers? Are they able to get more of a pass rush? Are they more stout up front? It's just, there's so much work to be done on defense. I know transfers have come in, but really it's a pretty sizable question at this point, because they can win games 42-39. But they might also lose some of those 42-39. And so, yeah, it is building up the depth, especially up front on both sides of the ball, and getting the star power. Because I have no question in my mind that they're going to get star quarterbacks and star receivers and tight ends. And they are going to get those guys, especially from the West Coast footprint. It's, are they beating out teams from elsewhere in the country for defensive tackles, for left guards? That's the question to me of, if USC is going to compete with, let's just start out with Utah. Utah is the bar right now in the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 South. You need dudes up front to compete with those dudes in that young, swarming defense. And so that's where I would lay my questions with USC at the moment.